And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Ring the Bell Podcast, live right here on Insane Game TV. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. WrestleMania getting canceled, or I should say postponed. Raw and NXT and SmackDown all performing in front of nobody, live at the Performance Center. The Triple H get a demotion. What's going on with AEW for tonight? We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Only a little bit of time to do it. So let's jump right in it here. Ring the Bell Podcast. Tyler and I, right here at Insane Games TV. Tyler, let's jump right into it. Big topic, obviously. We were planning on going, and obviously we can't now. WrestleMania live from Tampa Bay, Raymond James Stadium. 80,000 people possibly could go to that. Everything canceled. Everything canceled. WrestleMania, the Raw, SmackDown, Hall of Fame, NXT TakeOver, all the full access promotions and things, all canceled. However, WrestleMania is scheduled to still go off April 5th live from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. It's just all the live functions have been canceled. So I mean, obviously they had some different roads to go down here. I'll get your take first, and then I can jump in. I mean, what do you think as far as how do you think they planned this well? You think they could have done better? I mean, what do you think could have been the better options, or if this was the best option? You think? What do you think?
I mean, from my standpoint as a fan, I think it's a good option because we still get to see WrestleMania as a whole. We still get to see all the rivalries that we've been seeing for the past 3 months. We still get to see, WrestleMania. The problem is that, it's just going to be different than the past 35 other WrestleMania. So it's definitely going to be an interesting WrestleMania to see how the wrestlers react to having no crowd in front of them. How it is even going to be, from a look in the crowd, like a look in the setup of the whole entire arena. Like, is it still going to be like this huge monumental setup where they do every single year, or are they just going to like dumb it down because it's at the Performance Center? It's definitely going to be interesting. From a business standpoint, I mean, I don't know how Vince McMahon's doing it. I was thinking about this today. How is he going to pay big-name guys that he had promised in their contracts, like Undertaker, like Edge, like Randy Orton? Like, these guys live off of these checks that they get during WrestleMania because WrestleMania gives so much revenue from fans going, from vendors, from everything across the board. So, and from Tampa Bay's standpoint, I mean, Tampa's losing out on at least $150 million, I would say, from holding the event there. So this whole entire thing sucks, obviously, as everybody does know, working from home, yada, 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 closing their business, stuff like that. But it's just going to be interesting how this all plays out. It's just hard to wrap my head around.
Well, I mean, I think you look at everything that's going on. I mean, at this point, everything's pretty hard to wrap your head around just with everything that's going on. But, you look at WrestleMania, I think there's so many better options they could have gone with. I think something.
Like what?
I don't think they should. Apparently, from what I read, it's still not set in stone that they're going to definitely go April 5th. That's just the plan that they have right now. So there is the ultimate possibility they could push it back. I just think they should have pushed it back. I think out of all the options there, they could have just done so much other options. Like, why not still hold it at Tampa Bay with there's no one there? I mean, they still can come out on the big Titantron. They still can come out on the big stage, have the fireworks. But you're just taking away
There's probably something behind the scenes that you and I don't know, and that's why they're not going to perform at Tampa.
Right. I know. It's just one of those, why not? I guess there's maybe some logistics that we're unaware of and different stuff. But, why not postpone it to summer? Why not postpone? I mean, I guess the thing is they don't know how long this is going to go. So it's not like we don't want to make all these arrangements and postpone it to May and then have to push it back even further. And and it's just one of those situations where they don't know. But again, out of all the possible outcomes and all the possible stuff to do, I just feel like this is probably one of the worst possible. They get no money off of anything. People. I mean, I guess people are gonna watch on the WWE network. But like you're gonna have all these wrestlers like you're talking about that you're paying, that they're being paid millions to participate in this. You're gonna come out at the Performance Center. with no one there, and it's just not the same effect. And if that's the effect they're going with, I just don't know why they just didn't do it at still Tampa Bay in the stadium. I mean, do you know is the set already built? Do you know they've done any?
No, it's not.
I mean, so you look at stuff like that. I just feel like they could have done. I don't know. I guess if they haven't built anything yet, then maybe it's not. Why build it just to have no one there? So I mean, I guess maybe that's probably they'll save on production of having it built. But I don't know. I just feel like it's just going to be a weird situation watching WrestleMania at the Performance Center with the stage being so small and no one watching, and I don't know. I just feel like you don't feel like they could have come up with a better option for what they're doing instead.
I think the problem is that they couldn't figure out one because they don't know how long this whole thing is going to last.
Right.
And like you said before, the athletes that wrestle are kind of scared to even participate. So you don't even see all of the wrestlers on Raw and SmackDown the past two shows. That's why they're replaying the Royal Rumble or replaying Elimination Chamber Rewind. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. I don't think that every wrestler is going to be there. I think from what it looks like on TV, it looks like they're only really pushing for so many matches.
Well, yeah, probably.
I feel like they don't have enough content to do like a 6-hour show like they typically do during WrestleMania.
Right. I mean, there's definitely no getting around the fact that this is affecting everyone in so many different ways. It's just I don't know. I just feel like why even if people are just canceling everything. You look at, I know you and Austin talked about it on No Look last week. You talked about the NBA, NCAA. You look at a lot of all these different places that are just completely shutting down. And why the WWE just doesn't do that themselves, I don't really know. I mean, I don't know why they just...
I think a lot of that has to do with the guy that's in charge.
They want the money. It's all about the money.
Well, not only that, but I mean, he wants to be the longest recording episodic TV show in TV history. I mean, that would end if.
But they can still do that. They can still do that. I'm not necessarily saying stop everything. I'm just saying there's ways where I think they could have put up an argument that we're just not going to have WrestleMania right now. I feel you could go with they don't want any live sports.
So if they cancel WrestleMania, then what's going to happen to all the storylines?
They don't need to necessarily cancel it, just push it back. Find a way of I don't know. I'm
Yeah, because you got to think, because you have John Cena, who's not full time, Undertaker, who's not full time, Brock Lesnar's hit or miss, and I guess you could say Edge is hit or miss. So I mean, there's 4 storylines right there that they would have to figure out what the heck they're gonna do with. Oh, right. And Goldberg. I forgot about Goldberg. I mean, that's 5 then. So you have 5 storylines. That's probably half their show right there that they would have to redo or re-script or do something with. And, kind of been saying that's for the past few weeks. Maybe they shouldn't have had so many guys that don't wrestle full time.
Right. DAM314 says you also cannot have 2 guys claiming they want to kill each other, then all of a sudden let's fight in August. I mean, yeah, I get that. I think there's just so much. I mean, at some point there's going to be awkwardness in this situation somehow. I just feel like at the end of the day, what's going to be what's more awkward? Fighting in April with no one there, with absolutely completely none of the WrestleMania atmosphere, or just kind of pushing it back a month or 2 and still having it. It's just you got to find a way of. I mean, either way, there's awkwardness in all of it. I just feel like at least if they pushed it back, they can still generate the income from Tampa. I mean, think of that. I mean, think of all the promotion and all the work done in Tampa just gone. I mean, you're talking hotels, you're talking plane tickets, you're talking resorts, you're talking small businesses in the area, restaurants. I mean, obviously now half of them are closed to begin with, but
I mean, for people that don't understand WrestleMania, these people come from far and wide. That's the thing that they harp on when WrestleMania comes around. You got people from Australia, you got people from Europe, Asia. All of the continents around the world are coming to see this event. Even if they're not going to the event, they're actually going to the place to go to or Access or NXT Takeover or the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's not like WrestleMania is granted, most of them are, but I feel like it drives a lot of people to that area to see what's going on. I mean, Hogan's Beach Shop was holding events. I mean, there's other wrestlers in this area that live in Tampa Bay that are, going to be holding events that are going to have to be canceled now. So
everything. It's unprecedented times, and like I said already, and just the ripple effect is hitting everyone. But I feel like at the end of the day, I mean, it isn't a situation I'm sure they want to be in. I just feel like they could have done so many different options to kind of protect the people in Tampa that have already put a lot of money into everything, and to protect their investment by maybe. But again, I don't know the logistics. Maybe Tampa, maybe the Raymond James Stadium has stuff already booked for the summer, and there's just no room to put them. You just don't know. So I mean,
they got the Rolling Stones July 4th.
Right.
A 30-day warranty.
I mean, I say this stuff like I know what's going on. I don't know everything. I feel like, there could have been more, or at least like maybe if they can't do that and move it to an arena down the road somewhere, anywhere. I mean, they could have done it at.
Also, a lot of it has to do with the Bucks too. I mean, you can only go so far in advance. The Bucks start playing in late or middle of August.
Right.
So they would have until April to August to figure out when they're going to do that. And I'm sure there's plenty of days that, the Raymond James has already booked out events.
Right.
Whether it be soccer or concerts or Monster Jam. I mean, all of the above.
Yeah, I just, but then again, like you said, are we really missing out on anything in this WrestleMania? There really wasn't that many. I mean, obviously you got Undertaker and AJ Styles, not all that thrilled with that storyline. I mean, you have the Edge of Randy Orton, okay, I mean, cool, classic storyline. You got who else? You got Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. Okay, that's cool. You got
Roman Reigns, Goldberg.
That match is probably gonna end in 5 minutes. And you got Bray Wyatt and John Cena. That match will probably end in 5 minutes. So really, 2 of those matches, or 3 of those, Undertaker, AJ Styles. Okay, first off, let's estimate this for a minute. 4 matches, okay? Edge, Randy Orton, Undertaker, AJ Styles, John Cena, Bray Wyatt, Goldberg, and Roman Reigns. Out of those 4 combined, how long do you think all those matches really go for?
With or without entrances?
Without.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much every day live from 5.
30 minutes? I bet you 30 minutes.
And that's, is it just wrestling?
I would say anywhere from 20 to 25
Take our
minutes
card.
for sure.
But how long? Say that again?
I would say anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. Now you add entrances into there, it's probably going to be, because they're going to do vignettes or whatever the fuck they call them. Then they're going to do their entrances, which Goldberg's entrance alone and Undertaker. Actually, Goldberg and Undertaker's entrances alone will take as much time as all 4 of those matches combined. I can guarantee that right now.
Oh, I believe it.
A lot of that also depends on how long the ramp is.
DAM 3 and 4 says Taker's entrance might only be 15 minutes this year. Well, it could be if he comes out mid ramp, but there's no room for that this year. So the shorter ramp, so he may be out. He won't be. I mean, really, there's not much for him to come out on. I mean, it's just, the ramp is like 8 feet long. That's about it. I feel like I maybe throwing in all those matches is just they're like, okay, let's just quick do it at the Performance Center. We'll be done with it and keep things on schedule. I don't know what they're going to do for content even after Royal Rumble, or I'm sorry, WrestleMania. Just with, assuming April 5th comes, they do that. We're still in the middle of all this. I mean, I don't know where storylines are.
I know they don't want to do it, but depending on how it goes at WrestleMania, it might not be a bad idea to take some time off.
Is there anything wrong with that?
I mean, honestly, I can only see one problem with that, and it just not being on TV. When it gets back on TV, they may lose viewership. But, I mean, there is a benefit to it with time off. That makes not only the wrestlers creative, that makes the writers creative, that makes the producers creative, we might even get some of the best content when they come back.
See, I disagree a little bit. I actually think if they went off air, when they came back, I think they would actually have more viewers.
No, I'm not saying that they wouldn't. I'm just saying it's a possibility that people would be like, oh, yeah, we forgot to set our TiVo to it, and, now we don't have it recorded or something, or they just, forget about it and lose a little bit of steam. But, yeah, it could also go the other way where people are, like, anxious to see it. I mean, I can only imagine what it's going to be like, because at this point, we're in March, middle of March, almost April. If this keeps going on, the NBA could get canceled.
Oh, it's going to get canceled.
That leaves only the MLB.
They'll have like a half season.
Yeah, and I mean, like, people are just going to be giddy for sports. So, like, anybody that loves wrestling, like you and I, is going to be like literally a crackhead just waiting for it to come back on TV so we can watch something other than, Netflix or reruns or whatever the case may be.
It's funny, they're going through the NBA options right now, which is just playing, just canceling the season, playing without fans, or reducing the finals. I mean, everyone's coming up with different scenarios. I mean, it's just like, it's just, they just got to, I mean, I don't want to get into a whole, I just feel like once we get into a certain amount of time here, people are going to start getting back to, what they're doing. And just doing it with caution. So I mean, that's what WWE is probably looking at. Like, hopefully, I think right now the time frame from everyone's like April 15th to May 1st. I think is the initial, somewhere anytime in April and go. There's a guy that asked me if my refrigerator was running.
They look like the type.
They look like the type. I got asked that question in the food court today. Is your refrigerator running? Cool. Classic.
Is it?
Yeah, it's running. What am I supposed to say? It's on. It's on.
Actually, what you should have said was, no, it's not. I actually need someone to come fix it. Can you do that for me?
Well, listen to them. You can hear them in the hallway. They're definitely up to no good. But
can we call security?
Oh, please. They don't want to come out of their office. But, yeah, so, I mean, I think we're all disappointed with WrestleMania. I think that, especially you and I, we're planning on going. We had the tickets ready to go. That fell through. And then we won't say any names. And then the whole thing just got canceled altogether. So we kind of just got to whatever.
Why would we even say names in the first place?
I don't know. It's just disappointing. But I did hear the Hall of Fame, the daughter for the British Bulldogs, that she talked to WWE, and the Hall of Fame ceremony will be moved to SummerSlam weekend. Not a bad option.
That's actually a good idea.
Move it to that weekend. You may find that
it'll be nice. Is it going to be in the same? Is it going to be in the same place? Like, are they still going to do it at Tampa, or where are they planning on doing it? No announcement.
Oh, that I don't know. I don't think they've announced it yet. No, that's what they're.
Oh well, it's probably going to be where SummerSlam is. So.
Right. It's probably, yeah. I mean, if anything, maybe they'll just pimp up SummerSlam and make that the WrestleMania for the year.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure people have said this, we're going to look back at this time and just be like, it is what it is. Like, this shit hit the fan, everything got fucked up, it ruined all of sports, it ruined all of travel, it ruined a lot of people's plans, it ruined a lot of people's lives.
Economics, money, obviously. Businesses, like, it's everything. Like, I don't think there's not one thing not affected by it. I mean, it's just crazy. And normally the thing with, and I think what WWE's trying to do is that, and I think what they're trying to do is normally in a disaster like this, you look at 9/11 or you look at people rally behind sports. And with that not being here and not being able to watch, I think WWE is trying to be that if people are home and they can't have anything to do, they're going to watch wrestling, so they want to be able to still put on a show. And it's just, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, from a fan standpoint, I don't know how much longer I could watch wrestling without any fans in it. I didn't know it was such an intricate point to me watching wrestling, but I don't know how much longer I could do it.
Well, you saying that, let's jump right into our next topic here, and that is Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. I don't know what AEW is doing this week. I haven't heard anything. Maybe I just haven't seen
I
it.
tried finding what they were going to do. I could not find any information on if they're going fanless or if they're limiting or if
They
they're
can't
just
have
gonna go
fans.
full
I
bore.
doubt it. I doubt they have fans.
I'm assuming they're either what they're going to do is based on wherever I know they changed the location. They changed it to I believe Jacksonville, Florida. So if it's in Florida, they're probably going to either do half capacity or limited to 1,000 people or whatever the case may be. But I mean, NXT was 1,000 people, so I can see AEW copying that as well.
Yeah, I can see that. But I just feel like at the end of the day, when you look at, like you said, when you look at watching, I don't know if you notice, these wrestlers come out and they always look to the right or left, like they're looking at fans, and they kind of realize that there's no one to look at, so they start looking straight back again. It's like you can kind of see when they come out, they always kind of look. It's just the general, you come out, you always kind of look at all the fans, and with them with no one there, there's no really reactions that they can do. I get it. I mean, what's your other alternatives? Like, there is none. They're trying to still put on a show. They're doing it with no one there. At least put the sound effects in. Maybe they can put sound effects in. Make it look like...
Yeah, pumping crowd noise or something. I don't know. I just feel like that would take away from the authenticity of the show. It's weird. I mean, like, when SmackDown was on, it was like, okay, yeah, that's all right. But then when you have to watch 3 hours of Raw without any fans, you're just like, what the hell is going on? Like, I didn't think I could do this. I think a lot of it, and it's not only that we need the fans in the show, the wrestlers need the fans to portray whether their promo or something that happens in the actual fight, in the match, to have that pop, that reaction, to convey it to the viewer. Which, when we don't have that, it makes it tough because it also puts a strain on the wrestler. The wrestler has to, try a different approach to get that point, to convey it to the audience. So, right. I mean, there was a few different promos or parts in the show on Raw that were tough that you were like, that may have worked if there was a crowd, but there wasn't. So, it wasn't really that effective.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of... it's just crazy when you look at it. I mean, I guess they can do it for a little bit more, but at some point, I guess if they're saying, well, we're going to try to get a couple more weeks out of it, I guess they can pull that through. They're throwing in all these other segments to kill time. I mean, I guess my point is, why are they throwing in all these other things to kill time I guess if they're missing wrestlers, they don't have an option. But it's like, right. It's not like the show's condensed, just there's no people. I mean, all the other stuff should still be there. Like, how would they fill the Raw normally with it being, I just feel like they did a whole hour on Royal Rumble this week. It took up, like, the third of the show. They did the Elimination Chamber matches. Like, what would they be showing those to begin with in the first place? But I guess if there's a lot of wrestlers, if there's a lot of wrestlers not willing to wrestle, then I guess that puts on another problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely... I feel like once they would start saying, you know what, we're going to make Raw 2 hours instead of 3, that's when we're going to start seeing them actually take an approach of, well, we're probably going to end up canceling until everything gets back to normal. Right.
But, yeah, I don't know. But we did have a lot of stuff that happened this weekend on the shows, even though there was no audience members. Jeff Hardy made his return on SmackDown. What do you think of that? Your man? Your top guy?
Yeah, I mean, he had a great match. Classic Dan would say, well, he got beat up, and the only reason why he won was because someone, distracted the King Corbin, a.k.a. Elias, ringside. But it was good to see him back. He looked in great shape. He performed very well in his promo in the ring. It's definitely going to be exciting to see what he does from here on out. But speaking of the Hardys, Matt Hardy possibly going to AEW, hinted at it. So I feel the only reason why I bring this up is if strides start to happen with Matt Hardy at AEW, not to say told you so, but would that also have Jeff Hardy wanting to go there as well?
I think Jeff Hardy has a lot of time left on his I think he has a lot of time left on his contract with WWE, so I don't think he's going anywhere.
Do you think he would fit better at AEW or WWE?
Jeff Hardy?
Yes.
I think he should be better at WWE. Again, I don't think the Hardys get anywhere at AEW. I mean, yeah, they could go and they could do their little thing for a while, their whole Woken character or whatever. But there's gonna come a point where AEW gets sick of that, and they're gonna move on to something else, and there's just not gonna be room for Matt or Jeff Hardy. I just don't feel like there's enough room for them over there. I feel like Jeff Hardy. First off, you and I can agree, Jeff Hardy is a far better singles wrestler than Matt Hardy. So Jeff Hardy can last a lot longer by himself, I believe.
Yeah, because he has more he has more charisma in the ring than Matt Hardy does. But Matt Hardy has more charisma on the mic than Jeff Hardy does.
Probably, I believe that. I think
probably, definitely.
I think I do think Matt Hardy's a little bit more creative with the characters and I think he's a little bit more creative in the whole gimmick. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think Jeff Hardy is far superior. I mean, look at how long he lasted when Matt Hardy left. Jeff Hardy went 2 years without really, without Matt Hardy, without the Hardy Boys.
Honestly, if what Matt Hardy did in TNA never happened, I would say yes, I agree with you 100%. But because of all of his success, especially in the past 5 years, I would even say that Matt Hardy has been more relevant than Jeff Hardy.
Right.
And I hate to say that because I'm a Jeff Hardy fan.
It's true. Either way, I thought Jeff Hardy looked pretty good. When I saw him on there, I go, he actually looks pretty good right now. I mean, he looked in good shape. He looked healthy. Hopefully I know he's had stuff going on in the past, but kind of, hopefully, I think he's gonna have a good singles run. I think he'll do well. I think he'll provide something mid card. Maybe
Intercontinental.
U.S.
Sure.
Intercontinental reign. I mean, maybe they throw him in the title picture. I mean, he definitely.
Now, when he returned the other time, what did they throw him into? There was the U.S., right? Not the championship.
I think he was the U.S. title for a while. He was the U.S. champion for a while.
Yeah.
Or he was in one of them. He was either Intercontinental or U.S.
It was U.S. I remember it being U.S.
I think he did well there, and I think they'll throw him right back in. I think he's not going to waste much time. Obviously, he has something going with King Corbin now, so hopefully that whole King Corbin Roman Reigns.
Like, who hasn't at this point?
Yeah, that whole.
I feel like they're just trying to throw every single superstar at King Corbin, hoping that one of them will finally stick to him and put on a good rivalry because they want to push him so badly for some strange reason.
I don't know. Your other man, I would say your top five. Stone Cold made his return on Monday Night Raw in front of an empty crowd at the Performance Center.
If you had to guess my top five, what would it be?
Your top five wrestlers?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be in order.
Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho, Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I'm not counting this, but deep down, I think you do like Triple H.
No. I met one of them.
Ric Flair.
Yep.
And the Big Show.
And even though you hate when I talk about him, I do think you like The Rock.
Yeah, he's number 5.
All right, there, I got him. So I got all 5?
Well, I mean, I had to give you number
Not
4.
really. I would have come around to it.
I honestly don't think I can name anybody besides The Rock on yours.
Try.
I don't even think you have a top 5.
I have a top 5.
Well, The Rock is obviously number 1.
Right.
The Miz? Is he on there?
Yeah, he's on there.
Alright, The Miz. Alright, let me think. Man, I can't even think of who you ever had said any good things about besides The Rock and The Miz.
Wow.
Give me a hint.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I can give you a hint.
He probably likes the McMahon's sick freak.
I like Shane McMahon.
That's 2.
Triple H.
No.
You gotta give me a hint.
I can't really get... He's no longer with WWE.
Does he still wrestle?
Yes.
Jericho?
No.
No longer with WWE, but wrestles. Dean Ambrose? John Moxley?
Yee! No.
What brand is he on?
AEW.
Matt Hardy?
What?
Matt Hardy?
Nope.
You have to tell me. I don't know. I don't.
He changed his name.
What?
He changed his name from
John
WWE.
Moxley.
Nope, from WWE to AEW. How can you not get this?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now.
The Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger.
He is on your top 5?
I like him. I thought WWE screwed him over.
How is that guy on your top 5? That guy is the most irrelevant human being on planet Earth.
I thought he was good, but WWE screwed him over.
Who else is on there? What's the other 2?
The other one, you said The Miz, you said Shane, you said The Rock.
Oh, Shane was
Shane
right.
McMahon's on there?
I said it! I said yes, you got it!
You were serious.
Yeah, Shane, I like Shane McMahon.
You have the dumbest top 5 I've ever heard.
Not
of
really.
Look.
And you had the most generic, top 5. Like, you got all the top...
Why people actually
Chris Jericho, Stone Cold, The Rock, they're all the top ones. I get a little creative. I have one more.
creative.
I have one
Shane
more.
McMahon doesn't wrestle.
Yes, he does. He wrestles.
Yes, he does. He just jumps off of high buildings and.
And I have one more, and I'm very shocked you haven't gotten this one.
Is he bald?
No. Receding
Does he
hairline,
wrestle right
yes. What?
Does he wrestle right now?
Yeah.
Receding hairline.
Kinda. It's not noticeable, but if you really look at it, it's there.
What? Big E?
No. I do like the New Day, but no, not him. We met him once.
Did I meet him?
Yes.
Who did I meet? Where was it? Orlando? Not Ric Flair.
No.
Who else did we meet?
Wow.
Really?
Hulk Hogan?
No.
Oh.
Hulk Hogan's not in yours?
No. Hulk Hogan might be in my top 10. Give me the last one.
Finn Balor?
Oh shit, I forgot.
I mean,
I looked at that picture the other day too.
Actually,
Holy
I did
shit.
too. I saw one the other day too. You met him in the cage. You walked in. He returned to Monday Night Raw the night after that, pretty much. After being gone a year. Screwed as the first-time Universal Champion. I had high hopes for him. He was going to be my next Rock. He was going to be my next Rock.
Speaking of Finn Balor, that brings me to a good point. They are burying the shit out of him on NXT
Oh,
now.
probably.
You know, now he's going to facing Walter, who's on NXT UK, which is only on WWE streaming apps. So now Finn Balor went from Raw, Universal Champion, back down to NXT. Didn't end up winning the NXT Championship. Didn't even really compete for it that much. Now he's only going to be on NXT UK, which is only streamed on WWE Network. One of their best performers, and they're not going to let him perform on live TV.
But you don't know how much he's wanting to, he said before he likes helping other people. I mean, you don't know. Maybe
He's a professional wrestler. He wants to fucking wrestle for the
I
championship.
get that. I think there's more going on than you think. I think he has a lot of personal stuff. I think he's got engaged. I think he's getting married. I think he's still getting paid the same. I think he's being that guy that's helping other people. He's not young. Finn Balor is relatively old.
No, he's almost 40.
I think he just got
But
married.
still.
Hang on, I'm looking it up now.
Why? No, yeah, he did.
Yeah,
But why-
I just think, I think he has
he's
a lot
already
of...
gone on his honeymoon. I follow him on Instagram. I already know this. Why, though, why do you think he doesn't want to do something big? Because he's obviously almost out of the twilight. He's in the twilight of his prime almost. You think he just wants to just like not compete for titles while he still can?
I think he'll make his return. I think this is just a classic where you make a guy, you shit on a guy to revamp up his storyline and come back strong. Finn Balor is probably one of the higher end figures in WWE. He's not going long. He's not going far anytime soon. Is his last name DeVitt?
Yeah, Prince DeVitt.
Fergal? DeVitt is his name?
Middle name?
Fergal. Is that how you say that? Fergal? Mike? F-E-R-G-A-L?
Don't be making fun of Finn Balor. He's an Irishman.
so.
It was just
Fergal
St.
DeVitt.
Patty's Day.
His name is Fergal DeVitt.
I think it's pronounced Davi.
David.
No.
That's David.
Davi. There's no T's there.
But yes, Finn Balor is in my top 5.
Weak.
Well, first
Your
off,
top 5 is...
Finn
my
Balor.
top 5 would fucking destroy your top 5, that's for sure.
First off, my top 5 isn't based off of muscles and beatdown. My top 5 is based off of personalities, characters. I like their characters more.
Ty Dillinger has a character?
I
The
thought he
dude's never
did.
on TV.
Not anymore. He got the shaft in WWE, and then he got the bigger shaft over at AEW. The so-called chairman. I don't even
There's
know.
probably a reason why he's getting the shaft.
I mean, I don't even know what is up with him. He's not on at all. Hang on, I'm looking that up
He's
now
on,
too.
he's on AEW looking for a partner, so people are sending in submission videos of why they should be his tag team partner. Everything he does is a joke. The only thing that he doesn't do that's a joke is his wife. And his wife is, I forget who his wife is. She's from the Iconics. Peyton Royce?
Peyton Royce.
Yeah. She's fine.
Jesus. All right. In our
And she got the accent.
so those are our top 5. I wasn't expecting that, but I think mine's more creative than your top 5. But
I could come up with a creative one too. I like Gangrel, Viscera,
what is this? The Goths?
the Giant Gonzalez. Let's see, The Godfather, and let me sprinkle in a new one. What's the guy that does the conga line? There, you got all the that's a creative one for you.
Oh boy! All right, and last topic of the night: Triple H maybe getting a demotion. They changed his title in WWE. What's that?
I said, speaking of Shaft.
But he was normally known as the Executive Vice President of Talent, Live Events, and Creative. And then he recently got the new title, Executive Vice President of Global Talent. And where did it go? Global Talent.
It's like, hey, get a longer title.
Shit, where is it? It's not up here. But Global Talent and something. So basically saying that he's no longer in charge of creative and operations, and there's a new guy in charge of operations, and so it kind of rings a bell. I mean, do you think he should have been demoted? Do you think Triple H should have been demoted?
Did you just say ring the bell?
What?
Ding a ding a ding a ding a ding.
Did you just say ring the bell?
Ding a ding a ding a ding a ding.
So what do you think? I mean, do you think that represents a demotion? The fact they quietly changed his title without notifying anybody?
I mean, he kind of alluded to it on SmackDown. He said, "They might just walk in front of the camera."
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
How long were we off air for? 15 minutes?
My shaft passed it.
Anyways.
Are you? Are you saying Mike has a big head?
Yeah, he's got a giant head.
I've got
His
two
head's
big
the size
heads.
of freaking Canada.
One on the shoulders and one on the shaft.
Oh, Jesus. He was saying he alluded on SmackDown that he had nothing better to do. So, I mean, obviously that kind of gave the audience a little hint that he did lose a little bit of his, his job title.
Right.
So, I feel like he has less responsibility. But, I mean, as long as he's focusing on helping talent, I think that's definitely beneficial to the WWE. I also hope he still has a little bit to do with the content that they create on NXT, because I'm a big fan of their show, everything that they put out, and all their rivalries and storylines are always usually pretty good. So, and I know he usually has a lot to do with that. He's one of the head guys behind it. So I hope that continues, but I guess we'll see.
I mean, I've been a firm believer. And I've been a firm believer that Shane McMahon is working his way up in the ranks behind the scenes. I feel like, in this day and age where Vince is where he's at in his age and running two big companies, I mean, I've never been comfortable with the idea, and I've heard it for so long. I've heard JR talk about it. I've heard other people behind the scenes talk about how Triple H is the rising star. Stephanie's not going to be in charge. Stephanie is not going to become the CEO and chairwoman of WWE. Just not happening. I think her job, her background's always been marketing, brand experience. Chief brand officer is the highest she's going to get, in my opinion. Triple H, the guy
I mean, that's a good.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Height to reach.
Right. Triple H, who's not blood related, is no way he can become the chairman and CEO of the WWE. It just isn't happening, in my opinion. And so I feel like Shane's back.
I agree 100%. I think it was always in the cards that McMahon was going to run WWE after Vince dies.
You just look at the situation: two co-presidents fired, Triple H getting demoted, Shane just idly sitting in the background, no word from him. I just find it hard to believe that Shane just isn't making a return. And when he does, it's going to be the CEO of the WWE. They may make him the president for a year or two, so he can kind of learn the ropes. But at the end of the day, I think Shane McMahon will be running WWE. I feel he's a firm. I feel that that's a strong thing for WWE to do, and I don't think they're going to go anywhere with that. I think they're going to stick with having the McMahon and Shane, and I mean to assume that Triple H would ever get the full ranks, I think, and I've always thought is absurd. I just don't feel like Triple H represents the McMahons well. Can you imagine that dinner table sitting there with Triple H getting demoted, and the guy sitting across the table is the one who demoted him, and the guy sitting on the other side is the guy who probably taking his spot? Is it Triple H and Stephanie versus Shane and Vince? Like what happens at that dinner table? And don't forget about Linda McMahon, by the way. She's probably not there, though? She's not one to fuck around with either, I'm sure. But quite the dinner table. Sunday night dinners must be crazy over there at the McMahon household.
Well, do you think they all live right next to each other?
I think they do. I believe. I remember reading Vince built them a huge house up the road, and it was like a huge. I'm pretty sure they live right near each other. I remember seeing that they bought a huge house. I remember the picture saying, Vince and Linda's house is off in the far distance. Kind of want to look that up right now, but I don't think I can find it. But I mean, I don't know. Do you feel like Shane can make himself? Do you think Shane would be a good person to take over? Or do you think that's the plan for him?
I feel like I said, I feel like that was always the plan. Although I do feel like I would rather have Triple H be the head guy in charge because he has so much experience doing it. Shane's been off doing other things, but that's not to take away from what he's been doing. I mean, as we've alluded to on the show before, he has or had told Vince to buy UFC. He has ran another company. So it's not like he doesn't know how to do it. It's just, I feel like, is there a possibility that he may be out of touch with it? Maybe. And I do think Triple H does a really, really fantastic job with NXT. So I would love to see him, have full control of 3 shows instead of 1. But that doesn't mean that it possibly couldn't happen with, someone have the title of chairman and then have someone run Raw and then someone run SmackDown, and they all come together during the pay-per-views.
Right. That's true. There's a bunch of houses down here that they say is Vince and Shane, so I can't tell. They're all pretty big, obviously. All right, anything else you want to add up before we end this episode?
No, sir.
All right, we're going to end just not too early, just a few minutes early. The No Look podcast is coming up next. They're streaming off-site, so we're going to give them a little bit extra time to get everything connected. So we're going to end this one now. We got the Dream Team still scheduled after them, and then we got the Weekend Wednesday closing out tonight with Dave. All tonight here on Insane Games TV. Anything? Good?
Drop dead.
Watch Tyler up next. No Look with Austin. Adios.